Hey there, I just wanted to pop in and make a quick video. I'm actually sitting outside of my, internship, which is a place where children are, schooling and childcare. So for everybody who wants to believe that, oh, she must have done something, well, nope. The facts continue to be that domestic abusers lie and do criminal things, and they work with other criminals to subject women and children to more abuse. I mean, this country was founded on treating children and women like property. And guess what? That's what you still are. That's what women and children still are. Okay? And they take back their property. There's nothing, I'm qualified here. He didn't want to go to jail. He doesn't want to go to prison. His partner in crime doesn't want to go to prison. And I thought that when you show child abuse, like actual evidence from medical professionals, which try to cover it up later and actually will just discharge you when they realize, oh shit, we're going to get a malpractice suit, like we're going to get sued. You get discharged. Same with mental health, discharged, all right? And they shuffle you off to like these victims comp places or people that take Medicaid or which guess what? Then you learn that domestic violence, they just want you to cope with it. It's not illegal. Child abuse, in most cases, the way they document it, not illegal. They're going to teach you, your children, how to cope with it. Okay, so how you win in family court is that has nothing to do with any unfit criminal standard, nothing. It has to do with who has the most money and who can lie and manipulate legalese the most. But the real problem is that it doesn't work like criminal court, and there are tons, thousands of people unlawfully incarcerated in our country. We know that, right? People know that there's falsely accused people that like have evidence that have been doctored by police officers who don't want to go down for various things. That's why there's the whole defund the police, which I now see by responses to 911 where they don't call and actually belittle me for reporting domestic violence, child abuse, and wanting to file a report. They recorded that. And I see like, wow, if they can do that to me, imagine what they've been doing to everyone, and nobody will listen. Because usually they don't do it to women like me. They usually take the easy ones, the people that are addicted to alcohol, the people who are being promiscuous, people who don't have as high level of education, right? But we've also seen higher professionals and celebrities report this, but people aren't listening. They're like, oh, drama, oh. Yeah, until it lands on your doorstep. You know, I just got a response from one of the biggest civil rights attorneys in Denver who said, and I listed collusion, RICO, defamation, bribery and fraud by family members, like the provable things. Police misconduct on multiple occasions, which they're like foaming at the mouth for right now. Oh, involves child welfare. We don't take it. Here's the Bar Association list. The same link they've been giving me for 6 years. The link that actually led me to one of the DV support attorneys that literally just like would not tell the courts that she had already met with my brother who's on the stand, which would have disqualified him, as well as been conferring with the other attorney. She didn't want to go to trial, and she was mad that he went to trial. I go, he goes to trial every time. Why do you think he's got this far? She made a deal, didn't object to anything, basically handed over my parenting time, was mad at me that I filed an order of protection because she wanted to milk the case another way. They're a bunch of bottom-feeding parasites, the Bar Association. Your civil rights don't matter if a child is involved. And heck, for the childs, they don't even have civil rights. That's basically what their response told me today. I was like, wow, public's going to be interested to hear this. But we know this, right? We know this. What they barely had was age consent rights and parent protecting them. As soon as you're divorced, if you really divorced an abuser, custody and control right back over to him, which means your kids have just lost every single civil right because they don't have a trustworthy parent alone in the room with them. And they're also putting him in the hands of other adults who is like, well, who says they're a trusted adult? I'll be the judge of that, whether or not my kid goes alone in a room with some social worker or play therapist. Who else gets to be alone in a room with your child, a minor child, and gets to write down anything they want and turn that in? And if you confront them or try to turn them in, they retaliate and they have those notes and a license to abuse your kid, a license to molest your kid, a license to groom your kid. And most of them came out of these situations and they went into it thinking, oh, I'm going to get them. I'm going to, mad at one of the parents, mad at the system, who knows? But they become a part of the system. They become a part of the abuser, which is why none of this is healthy. None of it. And I can show it. People are like, did you show the pattern of behavior? Did you show the peer-reviewed evidence? Of course I did. Of course I did. Why do you think they buried me so deep? Because they finally got somebody who's 1000% awake and was able to show them everything I figured out and call them out. And they were like, uh-oh. She's gonna wind up with a fish in the water. That's what they tried to do to me. She won't be litigating or speaking anymore. She's on the side of the road. No one to listen to her if she looks like garbage. You know what I mean? If we discredit her and smear her. No, it's not just the ex-husband smearing me. It's the system. Why do you think they wrote those things? They saw the evidence. They saw most of it. A lot of it they wouldn't even look at, but they saw a lot of it. Why would they do that? Because they're all in the same club. They're in the Bar Association Club. The bar does not care about civil rights, does not care about children. It does not care about domestic violence. You can't educate them more. They're doing this because they're educated. And they use their knowledge to make more money, exploit more people. The only people we have are the other survivors that actually know, that have seen this stuff. Many people like me don't, because they source money from somewhere. They either work, they move in with the next husband, or their family might help them. But I'm truly breaking a cycle of generational abuse, severe sociopathic, narcissistic abuse, and throw on some physical and alcohol, all of it. That's the people. They were like, no, they're going to fight like hell to try to protect their reputation because I happen to have the memoir. So they have like an extra incentive, which I also showed them. Like, my brother did not get picked for an adoption after spending like $80,000. So he's mad. He thinks only rich people should have children, and that poor people like me who are like, an embarrassment because they got divorced because he still holds his Catholic beliefs. And then the parents don't want talking about the memoir, They don't want anyone talking. They have their own version of reality that they've already told everybody. They want to know who behind the mask, who they really are. And they definitely don't want to heal. They're going to double down instead of healing, because healing is hard. I know, because I put a lot of years into it. That's why I divorced, and I thought some of the system would help, even for someone like me, but only like me if you have enough money to keep paying those attorneys. And the only women who truly see the corruption, and men, is when the money runs out for the attorneys and you go, wait a second, and then you get one of these shitty low-end attorneys who's like a DV one, and you're like, whoa, they're straight up catching them in lies and on paper right to your face in the middle of the trials. And so you're like, and then you're pro se and they just don't even grant motions. They make up everything under the sun. You're like, oh, then you see the real corruption. As I'm unique. I'm lucky I got this far to see this. Some other people I know, they're still behind the veil of the attorneys, the Bar Association, the club you're not in, and who is operating illegally against the Constitution. That is what our country is founded on, right? Before we committed genocide. I mean, there's many layers to this. But no. People need to know that, you're not safe. You're not safe from this. Privilege, skin color, nothing keeps you safe from this. Sticking your head in the sand, hoping the fire doesn't blow by your house, but it's blown by everybody else's, you know? And you're just gonna watch them burn when there's children involved. You know what? I love it. Somebody said to me the other day, we can take a picture of all the children at the Holocaust and they're smiling in some of those pictures. We can get one of those pictures. Does that mean they were happy? No. It doesn't tell the true story. So when you see my children faking a smile and forcing a smile, which my children have told me, I'm forcing the smile, but inside I'm unhappy. I don't want our life to be like this. And then boom, he took them. And she was referring to that house. And my frustration with it. But frustrated because I cannot protect them. Because like the civil rights attorney said, we don't mess around with welfare, child welfare. That's how big and powerful this family court mafia is. And it is a mafia. It is a child trafficking mafia. And it traffics people into the penal system, and it doesn't care who it eats up. It's like an energy, life-sucking entity that if you are alive on this planet and you have children, you need to care about it. You need to start caring, and you need to start paying attention, because it is spreading like its own virus. It's a disease. It's a disease of the mind. It's a disease of greed. It's a disease of unconsciousness. It is anti-life, anti-family, anti-rights, anti-freedom, anti-life, liberty, and happiness. Drop the stereotypes. Drop all the misconceptions and the bias. Oh, divorce. Their programming worked. I don't want to hear about child abuse. Those are the mothers who stay in the marriages. Keep quiet, submissive, look pretty, be nice. Oh, she's talking. Oh, no one wants to hear about that ugliness. No, you're ugly for not protecting your children and not standing by other mothers and parents who do. That's what's ugly. That's the real mask. Please start caring about something other than virtue signaling to other countries, because what's happening over there is happening right here. Less bombs, more paperwork, but children are suffering, freedoms are being taken, there is long-term neurological damage, and it is shown in the fractalization of identity in our children. They're totally confused and lost. Why? Because of this. Deception, lies, abuse, manipulation, loss of power. I mean, children, they don't even, my daughter asked me years back, why do people hate children? Because it's become increasingly segregated, and they don't. Like the Civil Rights Law Office, who is linked with the top legal person in Jeffco School District. So what does that tell you? They're in the same club, the Bar Association, and they're not on the side of children or civil rights. No, not at all. They're on the side of making money, exploiting, and working with big business people, like my brother, who advises school districts on how to invest their money. But then calls me trash for not making enough as a teacher or being a stay-at-home mother. You've got misogynists running the places where children are. Not okay, America. Not okay. That's exactly why I stopped working at public schools, and why I would call out the corporatization of them. Because people like my brother, who thinks of children as objects, who's a racist, who should have nothing to do with the field that just even graces the surface of anything having to do with children or families. You're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone, off your couch, and start doing something with us, because it's not gonna get better on its own. It simply isn't. It's not. May all beings be free. May all beings be loved and peaceful, and understanding of the root of all suffering. To not be delusioned that it is something surface level, when it is systemic and it is a root